if it's like switched programs.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's being utilized by some.
I'm gonna unplug my camera and shut down real quick and restart. I'll be back.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we'll go through the. Hello all, and welcome to our stream. Tabletop game. Burn down cities. We fancy ourselves the crew of LikelyAMimic. Check them all out. If you're curious about any past sessions, the YouTube. I still have to fix last week's for some reason. Uploaded. I have to try and re-upload it because the file's fine. I watched through the whole thing. It wasn't messed up and it's fine. I don't know why it uploaded corrupted when uploaded. Say. But we'll figure it out. I'll figure out last week's. Anyways, we play tabletop game. There's a reason I'm phrasing it that way. Because of what we're going to be doing. But we're new at streaming it, so we may. But I'll do my best to fix it as possible. If you. Bring a halftime show after the break. Feel free to ask. And that other way, collectively, time. Quick player intros. That one's Nick. Cass and Miss Cass. Bobo. Whatever. There's Adam. The guy whose camera's fucked up is Lee. Nick is not here tonight. And not playing D&D. It is kind of shame because he knew. He knew.
Isn't
he
that
knew
like
it was
part
tonight.
of our thing?
It is part
Are
of it.
we supposed to drink together?
That's part of our thing.
He originally was the only one that couldn't drink.
Yeah, we made him drink sodas the first 3 weeks we played together.
Yeah, because he was a baby.
And now he drinks more than me.
Come on, him.
Lastly,
planned perfectly for this.
Lastly, I'm JJ. Talk on Twitch, TikTok, all whatever. I'm Dungeon Daddy. You probably heard me say
with that mustache you are
right. You probably heard me say this before, but for the new folks, this is my living story. Though I'm not a one when they do, but I like actively speak. But these folks that start the show because they're players, characters. Unlike a book, my characters are alive. They do good, they do evil. They fight, they kill. They adventure, they change, they grow, and they learn. My whole job is to challenge them, teach them, and develop and honesty. And I think that covers most of everything. So the couple of things that I need to talk with you guys that I'm only talking about with Adam, is that because of OGL 1.1, we are no longer dragons.
We're gonna be playing witches and bitches.
No, because even their public statement, which I'll stream and read in a minute.
It's dog shit.
It's an insult to your players.
It's some bullshit.
So we are going to transfer away from D. We are going to be playing more along the line of 6s, which we're basically going back to like a version of D&D 2nd edition, but it's not going to be D&D edition. We're going to find a different thing. I'm going to teach it to you all, and then we're going to play it. It's not going to be next week. It may not be the week after, but at some point we'll get together and I'll teach you how to play this. Adam and I are
working on a transition.
Right, Adam and I are sourcing through different ideas of what we can do, and we're going to work through that from there. Fix my camera real quick.
This pains me.
Damn.
I just wanted to play D&D, and then fucking wizards had to be assholes, or was it the other group?
It's Hasbro pushing.
Hasbro is the main company to Wizards of the Coast and
right.
D&D.
It's Hasbro pushing their rules on Wizards of the Coast because they own Wizards of the Coast, they own Magic the Gathering, they own all the different games.
Essentially, they're trying to monetize D&D like video game content.
So
Right.
then
You know,
in
they're
theory, you would
probably
have to-
gonna
Well,
they're probably gonna really regret it when they're fucking
we
stopped
have
paying.
D&D Beyond to blame for it, if you look at it. But at the same time, D&D Beyond was such an amazing tool for players and open sourcing there that once they saw the money grab, they kind of took it and
That's
ran
why.
with
That's
it.
why they bought D&D Beyond before they ever.
Yeah, well, if you
So-
look at it, so the online
What I saw,
purchases
though,
were
was,
like video game DLCs.
Right.
Yeah,
So let me read this to you. He said,
what I saw recently was that everyone was canceling their subscriptions for that.
Mm-hmm.
"Yeah, mine's not going to
Yeah,
renew."
that's their that was their metric to use this new to go by their 1.1. Essentially, the idea that they can monetize D&D by doing it like video game DLCs.
So their public claim that
So fucking
yesterday,
stupid.
when we initially conceived of revising the OGL, we had it was 3 major goals in mind. Accurate when you read. First, we wanted the ability to prevent the use of D&D content from being included in hateful and discriminatory products. Secondly, we wanted to address those attempting to use D&D in Web3 blockchain games by that OGL content, tabletop role-playing content, campaigns. Third, we wanted to ensure that the OGLs for the content homebrewer, the aspiring designer, our players, and the community, not major corporations. So all that's trying to say is that they're trying to monopolize D&D so they can be the only people profiting from it.
Correct.
That is what that says. Driving these goals
They're
were too
fucking
simple.
idiots.
Driving these goals were 2 simple principles. Our job is to be good stewards of the game. The OGL exists for the benefit of the fans. Nothing about those principles has weight. Second, if you read 1.1, it kind of sounds like it did.
Yeah,
that was
it's all about your money.
That was why our early drafts of the new OGL included provisions did. That draft language was provided to content creators so their feedback could be considered before anything was finalized. In addition to language allowing to address discriminatory and hateful conduct and clarifying what types of products the OGL covers. Draft includes royalty language designed to apply to large corporations never our intent to impact the vast majority. However, it is clear from the reaction that we rolled a 1. It has become clear that it is no longer possible to achieve principles. Here's what we're doing. Next OGL will contain provisions protect and cultivate the inclusive environment we're specify that it covers only content for that means that other expressions such as educational, charitable campaigns, live streams, cosplay, update, content already released on A will be. That means anything we've created until they release 0.1 publicly
is unaffected.
Right? That's good. That means they can't try and backcharge you.
Well, they just avoided their class action lawsuit.
Right. That's what that was. They heard about this
literally
class
forming.
So what it does mean is anything created after 1.1, they still own the copyright.
Correct.
Even if we as a collective group use the story that I created and built, they own it.
Correct.
What it will not contain is any royalty structure. It will also not include license back provision that I'm afraid of as a means for us to steal. That thought never crossed our minds. Under the new OGL, the content you create, we won't. Any language we put down will be crystal clear and unequivocal on point. License back languages protect us and our partners from incorrectly allege that we steal their work because as we continue to invest in the game that we love and move forward with partnerships in film, television, global digital games, that risk is simply too great to ignore. New OGL will contain provision like your ideas and imagination. Though it does not include the content that you create. That's not what they said, but what that says does not include the content you create. A couple of last thoughts. Firstly, today, which was yesterday, because we need to make sure we get it right, but it is. Second, you're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard for those people half right. They won, and so our plans. That seems kind of petty.
That's 100%.
That was the
That
most
is 100%
petty corporate thing I've read so far.
I want to know who wrote, like, who specifically wrote this.
It was
Because
the
here's the
same
thing.
person that wrote the lines at the end of the Thor movie,
Yeah.
for the Collector. You can't have revolution without a bad guy. So yay me, good to go. I created this.
Our plan
So,
was always
your win is my win.
right.
That's all I'm saying.
It sounded like the as per my last email of
Yeah.
the fucking
Yeah.
corporate legal mumble
As
Right.
per my
Right,
last
right.
email,
That's exactly
your
what it sounded
win
like.
is my win.
They could have
Okay,
just
You
hit
let me-
didn't win.
Let me get through this last paragraph.
You can't have this without me.
Okay.
Our plan was always to solicit the input of our community before updating the OGL. The drafts you've seen were attempting to do that. We want experiences that together everyone loves. Realize we did not do that this time, and we're sorry for that. Our goal was to get exactly the type of feedback on worked and which not. We will do. Well, I'm sorry, which we ultimately got from you. Any change this major could have only been done well if we were willing to take it, no matter how it was provided. Thank you for caring enough to work and what. Without knowing that, we can't part to make the principles. Finally, we appreciate the change, right? We love who take them to so many incredible events. So
Oh god.
it's
They
an
fucking
incredibly underwhelming response to the massive fuck you. We won't play your game anymore.
Outrage. Yeah.
So having read that yesterday when they posted it, because I got the alert on my phone, I was like, oh, they said something about the OGL. I pulled it up and read it. We as a group are no longer playing D&D.
We're playing
You're
War
going to be-
Crimes and Wenches.
That's actually not
that is
bad. That's a pretty good name.
That's our new game.
It's not bad.
Let's go. Hey, we gotta go hit that LLC now.
Yeah. That is
Or
now
Rose in the bucket.
trademarked as per this video. So War Crimes and Wenches, that's ours.
I just know that there's some group of a totally female group of D&D players that are like,
Damn it!
because they were gonna call themselves the War Criming Wenches.
Get fucked, nerds.
I have a friend.
Homie, it's but
God.
the we won, the you won, we won
Petty
comment.
as shit.
Why didn't they just hit him with that cool? You won. We're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Get fucked, nerd.
Right. Hold on. I'm going to restart.
honestly
I'm going to
didn't even
restart
have to- they didn't even
Discord
have to
really
go
quickly.
in.
Give me a moment. It's lagging and it's driving me fucking.
Okay.
Your stream bit rate's not much better right now either.
Yeah,
it's
I
pretty
see it.
bad.
I
It's
have
froze
I have the
for me.
recording of it. Okay, so hopefully
Worse, but like
My first.
they hit that major L by just saying, well, you're gonna hear people saying that they won and we
won.
lost, but we
But
still
we
won.
We
So-
fucking won. No,
So
fuck
you can't have a
guys.
revolution without a bad guy. Go me.
So, like I
Um,
said, we are no longer going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons because of that petty ass comment. Because per my last
Monetization.
email, fucking monetization. Yeah, I don't want to play
No
anymore. I
fucking
don't want to
badass,
support it.
bro.
So
It's
we're
You
going
take
to
your
find a
Autobots
different
and
system.
shove 'em where the sun don't shine.
Candy,
We're gonna find a different
I
system.
will mourn what it was.
It was great while it lasted, but that evil bitch that runs fucking Wizards of the Coast ran it up the chain at Hasbro.
You
And
can't
Hasbro
have
fucking
War
sent it
Crimes
down
and
the
Wenches,
chain.
Hasbro.
can't pay
Tell
me.
them to
Well,
Hulu
I
buy
would
it.
Worked
say
her
you
way to
can't.
the
Wizards of the
top, and now
Coast
she's
too?
taking everything down.
I don't know. We're gonna be changing. Not gonna be this week. It's not gonna be probably not the week after that. But at some point in the next few weeks, probably before my birthday, before Valentine's Day, I would like to do another system, which I'll go over. Buddy, once Adam and I find it, it'll probably be the out the king out, and then we'll expand. meaning that we may have to port your characters into a different program, but we'll figure that out. But because of that petty ass, or not email, but petty ass public statement. It's not even an email. This is the front page of the website.
Yeah.
You've lost my business. I'm never buying another D&D thing again.
You done fucked up.
Unless I'm playing in person and buying a mini, you'll never get my money. It was rude. It's disgusting to be like that to your customers, and I don't want to be involved with it. So my group is no longer going to be involved with it. I wanted to make you guys aware of that as well.
But that
Anybody
also
who's watching.
that poses a question that I do have. Do you think that because they're basically flexing their copyright, that they're going to use that same copyright over like content? So, the map we're working off of right now, for example.
It's under the 1A. They can't use it.
Right, published under 1A.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Now, if they updated the map, added a single city, added a single mountain, added a single river, and published it under 1.1, that new map we cannot use. But anything that's published under 1A, we can't.
Yeah, so it's essentially the agreement is
getcha.
if you go forward, anything you create after 1.1 is now under their copyright. Well, strictly for the purposes of this. Like, you could take something and say, hey, it's from a world, and if it's not involving their OGL, their D20 rolling system, it's not theirs, essentially, is the way it comes down.
We will
Even
be
if it
moving
uses,
away from
like,
D20
similar names.
effectively. I think that's what we're looking at is the system where you roll a certain amount of sixes based on the idea, based on how many points you've accrued. You get to roll more. You can like earn points, try and roll. You're forced me to reroll.
There's a few different systems.
There's a few different systems,
particular
and
one. So.
I haven't practiced any of them except for D&D. Right? For 5, I mean 5e is the most recent one. I've been playing 5e. Fucking how long it's been out. So I don't know. Also, we are coming up. Not session 52. It's not 50 weeks. That would be, if I remember right, February 3rd of last.
That's when I have the receipt somewhere, but yeah.
I think it's February 3rd. I used to write the air dates when I was writing little.
I messaged you at the end of January, so like February.
It would have been So our session zeros were definitely just on a random set.
Yeah.
Anything else beyond?
It's been a wild ride, guys.
But anyways,
A lot of work.
that collectively out of the way.
A lot of wenches.
Information to. That's why when I'm putting our game on Twitch now, I'm not putting it under Dungeons and Dragons because believe it or not, they own that copyright too.
Yeah.
So
what are the big streams gonna do, like Critical Role and Dimension 20?
So here's the thing: Critical Role and Dimension 20 are sponsored. They are paid by Wizards of the Coast.
They're under.
So
because they
so
work
they
with
legally
Beyond.
hang on, let me fucking say it. They legally cannot make a public statement. They are bound by what?
Have you seen their statement?
No.
Critical Role's already put out a statement that just very vaguely says we stand alongside everybody else in the industry. But no, they can't speak out against Wizards at all.
They can't say anything bad
They're
about it.
they're bound by a clause basically written if they want to keep receiving funding and keep having Matt Mercer be an executive at the company and keep being employed by them and paid by them and sponsored by them every single session, they cannot make a legal claim. Because if they make a claim because Matt Mercer is a high-level executive within Wizards of the Coast, he's making a claim based on his company.
Yeah. That being said, Dimension 20 is already in the process of changing over from to a different.
Right. They said they're going to Cobalt.
I found their statement.
Something like that. Yeah.
But they cannot make a public statement condemning Wizards of the Coast.
Correct. Yeah.
I can't because I don't give a fuck.
Bound by that professional.
We're not bound by a contract, and
I don't give a
NDAs
shit, a
and all that
contract or
shit.
not. If you're an asshole, I'm gonna tell you
we
an asshole.
paid
You're an
for the
asshole.
services that we do use for them. So like
Yeah.
it's literally come down to the fact that we played a game and streamed it. We're using our own content based off of we're streaming our
framework that-
entertainment value, not their content,
Right,
essentially.
right. And I don't ever expect my work to be published on D&D. Fucking, I've
Yeah.
honestly,
we
if you
don't
read these
work
notes,
directly
you'd
with
have a
the
stroke because it
corporate.
like I have a stroke reading them. I don't know what the hell I'm going.
And you wrote them.
They're all over the
Sometimes.
place, all over
The
the place.
spirit of JJ wrote them.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
but they can't make a public statement. And that is, I've lost a lot of respect for them both for that reason. Yes, they're amazing.
Yeah,
They're amazing DMs. I'll give them that. Don't get me wrong. They both tell a hell of a story.
For everybody that is listening, if you haven't heard, there are a few other options coming out soon. Paizo's going to be releasing a new, they call it an orc. And Matt Colville is also working on his own system.
Yeah, I think he's
one of the original
an
founders
RPG.
of 5e.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's fucking over with.
so.
Yeah.
The group of you, would you like to what? Okay, what?
Oh, nothing. Never mind. It's fine.
What is it?
I was just gonna tell you I found their statement.
Yeah. Does it sound as half-assed as it?
Yeah, it sounds like they're tiptoeing around the fact that
Right.
this is all even happening.
They're not legally
It's
allowed
the
to make a claim.
bullshit.
They're not
And
legally allowed to
people are
make a
still
claim
like, oh
one
my
way or the
God.
other.
Well, they were still under the confidentiality agreement up until yesterday, because all of that ended as of yesterday when it was supposed to be announced. So.
Right. And I might switch over to Matt Colville's because I love Matt Colville's campaigns. I still wish he did campaigns online because that man's an incredible storyteller. I fucking
absolutely.
adore Matt Colville.
Yeah, no, he's releasing his.
Is that the
own
one we were
version
watching who does the fucking Jenga tower?
No,
of-
I don't know. That's Ivan something.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Colville did a lot of like intro to D and
His
D
name
stuff.
something.
And his.
I'm sure he's spoken out
campaigns
against
were
it too. I mean, he works
awesome.
for D&D Beyond, but he strikes me as the person would say, "Fuck that."
Fuck that.
Because I would have walked out of that meeting had I been in that meeting. Because I'm sure they brought all these big people that have these massive followings into a room and said, "Hey, look, this is what we're gonna do."
Oh,
I'm
yeah, no,
sure they did it
brought the
because that's
top brass.
yeah, that's how you market something. Is you take your big fucking people first, you have them support it, and you have them peddle it to their viewers. That's how basic fucking trickle down marketing works.
Oh,
You get somebody higher up to tell other people this is a good idea. Oh no, it's not. And I don't support it, and therefore my campaign will no longer use it. And fuck Activision for that.
Just while we're at it,
Hasbro and Activision are on my shit.
Tarkov's
being
not too
said-
far behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the founder of Target.
Fiction.
Nikita's little 5'7" fat ass can get his ass rocked. Well, let me catch a little rush in the
I found
streets.
out today that if you have your FPS counter up on Tarkov, it lowers your frames.
It does when you're on Ben's laptop.
Because
Just that fat little Russian slug said that. He's like what he does is he doesn't want people looking at the FPS.
Yeah.
Um,
There he is.
I don't know. Mine's being super glitchy. I don't know what the fuck the camera does. But stream is going mediocrely. Now that we're in half hour into our, would you guys like to tell